Mohammed Usman has released a public statement following a 30-month suspension handed down by combat sports anti-doping authorities. On Friday, CSAD confirmed that Usman tested positive for elevated testosterone levels ahead of his scheduled October 11th heavyweight bout against Walter Walker at UFC Rio. As a result of the failed test, Usman was immediately removed from the contest. In addition to the testosterone finding, Usman also admitted to using BPC 157, a prohibited peptide, earlier in 2025. Due to these violations, the 36-year-old has been suspended from competition and is officially ineligible to fight until April 2028. Usman addressed the situation in a statement shared on Instagram, where he accepted responsibility for his actions and expressed regret. He described the testosterone use as a mistake made during his recovery process, emphasizing that he takes full accountability for the decision. Usman explained that the suspension period has allowed him to refocus on his health, spend more time with his family, and gain a deeper appreciation for life. He stated that he is grateful simply to be healthy and alive, and that he is taking each day as it comes while committing himself to personal growth and doing things the right way moving forward. In his message, Usman also thanked the UFC, along with Rashad, Ali, Bryant, and his coaching team for standing by him during this difficult time. He concluded by saying that he remains focused on moving forward despite the setback. Meanwhile, Justin Gaethje recently weighed in on Arman Tsarukyan's current situation, stating that Tsarukyan is responsible for the position he now finds himself in. UFC CEO Dana White has also confirmed that Tsarukyan has not been granted a title shot at this time, further adding to the ongoing discussion surrounding the lightweight division. Justin Gaethje believes Arman Tsarukyan is responsible for the position he currently finds himself in with the UFC, citing issues related to his behavior outside the cage. Speaking with New York Post Sports, Gaethje addressed Tsarukyan's situation and acknowledged that, from a competitive standpoint, Arman is likely the most deserving contender for a title opportunity. However, Gaethje explained that he understands why the UFC has been hesitant to commit the time, money, and resources required to book Tsarukyan in a championship fight. Gaethje pointed to several incidents that have raised concerns, including Tsarukyan's actions at weigh-ins and his withdrawal from a scheduled title bout the night before the fight. While Gaethje admitted that the full details of that situation are not publicly known, he emphasized that pulling out of a championship fight, especially under circumstances that do not involve a serious injury, creates major problems at the highest level of the sport. According to Gaethje, the UFC invests significant financial resources and promotional effort into building title fights. When a fighter is positioned for a major opportunity and fails to make weight or withdraws at the last moment, it reflects poorly on their reliability and disrupts the organization's plans. Gaethje stressed that these are mistakes fighters simply cannot afford to make if they want to compete for championships. He added that from a business perspective, it makes sense for the UFC to be cautious. For a global organization, taking risks on fighters who have shown recent inconsistencies is difficult to justify. Gaethje concluded by noting that circumstances could have played out differently, as he was originally slated to face Tsarukyan before other matchups were finalized. Ultimately, he said, time will determine how Tsarukyan rebounds from these setbacks and whether he earns another shot at the title. Sean O'Malley is giving back to his fans by personally handing out tickets to UFC 324. In a new video shared on social media, the former bantamweight champion surprised one of his supporters with a live phone call to let him know he had won tickets to attend the upcoming event in Las Vegas. During the call, the fan could hardly believe the news, reacting with shock and excitement as O'Malley confirmed that he had officially won. O'Malley enthusiastically welcomed him, asking if he was ready to head to Vegas for the fight weekend. The fan immediately responded that he was prepared to make the trip as soon as possible and couldn't contain his excitement. O'Malley continued the conversation by asking who the fan planned to bring along. The winner revealed he would be attending with his friend Mason, adding that they had both been longtime supporters of O'Malley and were thrilled at the opportunity. The fan expressed gratitude, explaining that he was simply trying to support the brand and never expected to actually win tickets, calling it an unexpected bonus. O'Malley responded by saying he was excited for the fan to experience the event live and thanked him for the continued support. He closed the call by telling the winner he would see him in Las Vegas, ending the interaction on a high note. The moment quickly gained attention online, with fans praising O'Malley for his connection with supporters and his willingness to give back ahead of one of the UFC's biggest events of the year. Strickland has made it clear that he is not a fan of filming promotional content for the UFC. In a recent Instagram story, the outspoken middleweight shared his frustration with the process, claiming that much of what he says ends up being heavily edited or removed altogether. Strickland explained that he dislikes filming UFC content because he feels it lacks authenticity. According to him, the organization rarely allows his unfiltered personality to be shown, choosing instead to cut out most of his candid remarks. As a result, Strickland believes the final product fails to represent who he really is. He went on to suggest that the process often feels pointless, saying that if the UFC already plans to edit his words, they might as well tell him exactly what they want him to say. Strickland remarked that he understands the UFC needs content for platforms like YouTube or for promotional B-roll, but the heavy editing makes the experience frustrating and inefficient. Strickland concluded by implying that he would rather deliver a scripted message and move on with his day than participate in a process he views as disingenuous. His comments quickly gained attention online, sparking debate among fans about fighter authenticity, promotional obligations, and the balance between raw personality and brand-friendly content in the UFC. Alex Pereira continues to demonstrate why he is so deeply respected in his home country of Brazil. In a new video shared on social media, the former UFC champion was seen giving back to local residents, further highlighting the strong connection he maintains with his community and hometown. The footage shows Pereira interacting warmly with locals as he offers assistance and support, reinforcing his reputation as not only a dominant competitor inside the octagon, but also a grounded and generous figure outside of it. His actions reflect a genuine commitment to helping those around him and staying connected to his roots despite his global success. Fans quickly responded to the video with praise, applauding Pereira for using his platform to make a positive impact. Many noted that moments like these are what make him one of the most admired figures in the sport, as he continues to represent Brazil with pride, both in competition and in everyday life. Pereira's willingness to give back has become a consistent theme throughout his career, and this latest moment only adds to that legacy. While his achievements in combat sports have earned him worldwide recognition, his dedication to his community continues to resonate just as strongly with fans at home. Alex Pereira has once again fueled speculation about a potential superfight after subtly calling out UFC heavyweight champion Jon Jones. While visiting his old tire shop, Pereira shared a video on social media that immediately caught the attention of fans. In the post, Pereira included a caption that read, "Next Jones on the list," a message many interpreted as a direct challenge to the reigning champion. The post quickly gained traction online, with fans debating whether Pereira was seriously angling for a matchup with Jones or simply stirring conversation. Regardless of intent, the message was enough to prompt a response from Jon Jones himself. Jones wasted little time firing back, posting a video to his Instagram stories in which he addressed Pereira directly. In his response, Jones pointed to his history of victories over legendary fighters from Brazil, suggesting that Pereira would simply be another name added to that list. Jones acknowledged that Pereira might want to avenge past losses suffered by Brazilian fighters, but warned him that such a fight would not end well. Jones concluded his message with a clear warning, telling Pereira to be careful what he wishes for, implying that a matchup between the two would come with serious consequences. The brief exchange immediately sparked discussion across the MMA community, with fans weighing in on whether a clash between Pereira and Jones is realistic or even possible, given their respective divisions and career trajectories. As speculation continues to grow, the back and forth has only added more intrigue to the idea of one of the biggest potential fights in the UFC. Joe Rogan has once again voiced strong criticism of the UFC's fighter pay structure, sharing his thoughts during a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience. Rogan stated that if he were running the UFC, he would likely disrupt the organization's business model because he believes fighters deserve to be paid significantly more. Rogan explained that increasing fighter pay would be one of his top priorities, even if it meant cutting into the promotion's profits. He openly admitted that his ideas might not make financial sense from a business standpoint, joking that he would be a terrible businessman because of how much he values fair compensation for athletes. In addition to pay, Rogan proposed major changes to how fights are structured. One of his more controversial ideas involved eliminating the cage altogether. Rogan argued that the cage provides an unrealistic advantage, allowing fighters to use it as support to stand back up after being taken down. Instead, he suggested holding fights on a flat mat placed in the middle of a basketball court, removing any walls or barriers. Rogan also shared his belief that fights should resume exactly where the previous round ended, rather than restarting from a standing position. According to him, a fight should be treated as one continuous contest, not a series of separate rounds that reset the action. He argued that restarting fighters on the feet effectively turns each round into a new fight, which he believes goes against realism. While Rogan's comments sparked discussion, critics pointed out that some of these changes, particularly restarting rounds on the ground, could lead to slower, less exciting fights dominated by grapplers with extended control time. Still, his remarks reignited debate around fighter pay, realism in MMA, and whether the UFC could evolve its format without sacrificing entertainment value. The discussion has since prompted fans to weigh in on how such changes might impact the sport if ever implemented. Ilia Topuria has provided an update on his expected return to the octagon, offering fans a clearer picture of his potential next fight timeline. With several personal developments unfolding in his life, the schedule for Topuria's UFC comeback has remained uncertain in recent months. Topuria has not competed since last June, when he delivered a career-defining victory over Charles Oliveira to capture the lightweight title. However, due to personal circumstances, including a highly publicized divorce, the UFC opted to move forward with an interim title bout. As a result, Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett are scheduled to face off for the interim lightweight championship on January 24th. Because of the extended layoff, some fans and analysts began speculating that Topuria might not return until late 2026. That speculation was addressed recently when Topuria posted a message on X stating that the award for Knockout of the Year in 2026 would belong to him. The bold statement prompted a fan to ask when he plans to fight again. Topuria responded directly, indicating a return window between April and June. When asked whether his comeback fight would be against Tsarukyan, the Spain-based champion clarified that he expects to face the winner of the Gaethje vs. Pimblett interim title bout. The timeline he outlined suggests that an April return could be realistic if the interim champion emerges without injury. There is also growing speculation that the UFC could target Topuria's return for a major summer card, potentially including the highly anticipated UFC White House event in June. Topuria also responded to criticism regarding a possible matchup with Islam Makhachev. After a fan claimed Makhachev would submit him if they ever fought, Topuria fired back confidently, dismissing the idea and questioning his rival's chances even in imagination. With potential blockbuster fights looming, fans are left debating what the future holds for the lightweight division and whether a showdown between Topuria and Makhachev is inevitable.